Welcome to War Groove. The Groove of War has created a balance mod, a mod to balance out some of the features of the game in an attempt to make a more fun, even more competitive dynamic. Now, the current patch, patch 2.x, is incredibly balanced, incredibly dynamic. This is the best War Groove has ever been. This mod takes it a step further, making some slight tweaks to certain commanders and units in an attempt to make maps more dynamic and make more commanders viable competitively. Now, most commanders, as you can see here, are untouched. Emmerich, Vesper, Valder, Sedge, Koji, Tenri, Greenfinger, and Ragna are all completely unchanged. Wolfar is also unchanged, but I put him off to the side because he will be changed indirectly by something that happened to the giant in this mod. Now first, let's talk about the small tweaks. Caesar is currently in suspect testing. What that means is some players think Caesar is reasonable and balanced. Other players think Caesar is broken. The Groove of War made a slight tweak to Caesar in this mod. Caesar's just been changed from medium to slow. It's a pretty small change if you play Caesar like that anyway, but it'll still bring the Caesar's power level down just enough. So, with Caesar moved to slow, Caesar will join everybody in this huddle. Now, Nuru got a little bit of a bigger change. She was officially nerfed in an actual Chucklefish patch, but in this mod, Nuru loses the ability to summon several units. For example, you can see that beyond night, she can't summon anything else from Arax. No golems, trebuchets, or ballistas. In the air, she loses access to dragons, and on the sea, she can't summon any ships. The rationale was any non-formation units, or units that don't appear as 5 groups when you look at the animations, were considered too powerful and removed from Nuru's array. She can still summon everything else. That, combined with the medium charge that was actually nerfed in the real game, mean Nuru is back, and she will be unbanned when this mod is in use. Now, Dark Mercia and Elodie were considered completely useless in recent competitive tournaments. I gave them an F rank in my tier list, which you might remember, there's an aside off to the side for that. They have been buffed in this mod to Medium Groove. Elodie at Medium Groove is going to be way more fun to play and really threatening. She can actually use the groove instead of just holding it as a threat. Dark Mercia, however, was tweaked a little bit. She was moved to Medium, but she was also nerfed slightly, so that Aura of Ruin now does 25% instead of 30%. Just a slight tweak since she'll be able to do it sooner and more often. Alright, let's talk about the twins. The twins were also very underwhelming and competitive. They can shut down certain maps, but on most maps they're next to useless. In this mod, you have to use Scorching Fire. However, doing so will give you the option to cast Cooling Water after. You can cast both in the same turn, or just play with the fire. This will make the twins a lot more dynamic, a lot more creative, and give them a bit more to work with. Yoda is an interesting beast. Yoda is considered so powerful that he was actually considered to outperform Nuru and was also banned. In this mod, I jumped through a lot of skellies here. In the regular game, Yoda's damage would rank up until it just slaughters everything. This mod may have over-tweaked it a bit. As you can see, Yoda does less and less damage the more jumps you do, to the point where he actually goes into the negatives and starts healing enemy units if you jump too much. We'll see how that turns out. None of these changes are permanent, but it's interesting and it'll bring Yoda back in line so you can start playing them again. Yoda stays at fast, so he's more or less at the power level he was previously, but it becomes a little bit risky to pull off jumps on low health enemy units. You might heal them. Alright, Sigrid is a special beast. Sigrid can now teleport up to 2 spaces when she uses Vampiric Touch. You click on the space you want her to teleport, and she is required to, in order to use the groove, eat an enemy unit. For example, I can't teleport to a space where I can't eat an enemy unit. So I'll move over here, teleport here, or better yet, I'll move here, teleport through this unit, and eat this guy. It's really cool, very vampiric. I love that change to Sigrid, and it makes her much more scary and dynamic. Alright, we said Wolfar wasn't changed, but what has changed is giants. Notice it can't move through the mountain. This mod moved its movement type to riding, the same as knights, which means it will lose more mobility through heavy terrain like forests, and can't move through mountains at all. Because of this, Wolfar can actually kill golems by golfing them onto mountains, which is both a buff and a nerf depending on whose golem you're golfing, yours or your opponent's. Trebuchets will be allowed in maps again, as will all-wheeled units, because trebs have been changed to have a minimum range of 4. This changes the area you can attack. As you can see here, you have to attack at max or near max range. It makes trebuchets allowed in maps again. That'll be fun and interesting to see. Mages have been nerfed. They do less damage to harpies, so now if you hit a mage with a sword, your harpy can survive the attack. Let's talk about Merciful. Merciful will no longer fish for fish. Merciful will fish for villages. At 1 or 2 squares away from a village, you can go fishing and convince the villagers that you're awesome, flipping the village, no matter what health it is, to a full health village for you. By the way, this also works on production facilities. It's a tricky groove to pull off and a gimmicky groove for sure, but it's interesting and it lets Merciful actually play. Now, there were some big changes at sea. Let's talk about the most popular one, the turtle. The turtle now has this magical power. I'm going to move the turtle, and then I'm going to move it again. That's right, you can double move units, and it's not just because I hacked the map. Notice the second move was smaller. In fact, all ships can now double move. When you wait, you can move again. It triggers a second move. So you move, and then you can move again. Every ship can double move, giving them the ability to choose between moving or attacking. If, for example, you attack, you can't double move. The battleship has been nerfed to a maximum range of 3, which will make it a little bit less impactful on land, but able to go next to smaller islands without becoming too terrifying. Now, the biggest and most interesting thing about the turtle is it can now do something called swim under. On your first movement, you can select an enemy ship, or alternatively, an enemy air unit, and swim under it. This consumes your entire turn with the turtle. You can't then move or attack. It's pretty nifty and pretty fun to play around with. Let's see that again. Awesome, awesome. This is going to be the thumbnail. Let's be real here. Swim under. That's awesome. So, the tile movement for different sailing units has changed. And also the harpoon ship's maximum range has changed as well. If you take a look here, the harpoon ship's maximum range has been altered from 6 to 4. So, as a side effect of the double move thing, all of the movement stats have been changed. Notice a harpoon now moves 8. However, the different sea tiles now require different amounts to cross them, including the reef, the beach. It's all different now. All of the movements are different. When playing this mod for naval, you're really going to have to relearn all of the naval movements because they've completely changed. The turtle's the same, but it's actually different because deep sea is now 2, regular sea is now 3, reefs are now 6. What's up with that? So there's a lot going on in naval that you'll have to consider and relearn to play this mod. Now again, for those of you who don't use mods and are just watching this video because you are curious, don't worry. This is not going to become the next competitive format. Not yet anyway, although it will be in some events. The mod is just to have fun and test balance changes that maybe Chucklefish might want in the future, maybe not. And the mod will keep evolving each month, it'll keep changing, getting better and better based on player feedback. It could lead to a patch down the road, although again, Chucklefish has said that Wargroove development is going to be frozen for a while they work on Witchbrook. Check it out. Alright, so that's it for this balance mod created by the Groove of War. Major credit to Gimble, who runs so many of the tournaments for Groove of War and put a lot of work into this mod, and modder CMA, who designed the mod, and Unicarn, who contributed a great deal of assistance to the mod. Those three and all of the testers, great job at creating this awesome mod, and we'll see it come in the next Test Your Metal event. Again, mods are right now only available for PC users, but don't worry, the next Test Your Metal event will mostly be systems accessible events for PC and Switch alike. And there is crossplay between the two when you're not using mods. This is only for one event, but it'll be neat to see. That's all for now. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll try to include where you can find this mod, as well as the Discord for the Groove of War. That's all for next time, and welcome to Wargroove.